What's up, Lena? Benny's in the house. Lena, Rob, Susan. Welcome, everybody. Also, welcome, everybody on YouTube and X and Twitch. What's up, Kurt? Pasquale Edwards. Late love, Kurt. Salt Slug Purdue. Michelle's in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tyson. Shannon. Sashimi. Hawkeye. Oh, Hawkeye. I haven't seen you in a while. Kathy. Welcome. Okay, welcome to Simulation Talk 104. For a second there. There we go. I think we're back. Yeah. I wonder where the late night ones are gonna be done, because it's so different to run these in the middle of the night than it is to run during the day when my brain is a lot more sharp. I hope that at least the one on YouTube, it's not gonna be too stuck, because the internet here is a little shaky. But we're gonna dive right in. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Simulation Talk 104. This channel is usually revolved around the simulation hypothesis. My name is Danny, and I'm claiming to have found actual proof that we live in a simulation. We meet here every single day to discuss the experiment I've devised, the implications, as well as science in general, religion, spirituality, philosophy, God, whatever comes to mind. So all of that being said, by the way, everybody on TikTok that feels like they want to maybe check my longer format content, you can do that on YouTube on Dango Thoughts, DANGO Thoughts. All these videos that you see here, they have longer forms in which I'm talking a lot more in depth about all of these things. As some of you know, a few years ago, I've proposed that if you project a diffracted laser on the surface and you inject a particular molecule that I can't really name because of legal reasons, you will see code running in surfaces. And this observation has now been substantiated over 1,000 times worldwide. This has connected me with some of the leading researchers in the field and got the interest of some pretty high caliber individuals, but that is not the thing that should nor does give it the merit. I think the merit is in the observation itself, and this is important to mention that not all the experts agree with me or with my conclusions, but this is a conversation that we're having, and I do think it's an important one. And this is why we meet here every day to discuss that as well as other things and news in science and new developments, but as well talk about spirituality and religion and God and really whatever feels right in the moment. That's what we talk about. Thank you for the likes, guys. All of that being said, let's dive into hello from France. Roel, welcome, welcome. Your discovery fascinates me. I will soon try to see the code. Appreciate it. And if you feel, by the way, anybody who's running the experiment, if you feel like you are willing to maybe record the conversation, well, maybe it is a conversation, the experiment either on video or even write a report, I would deeply appreciate that. It's very helpful. These videos will never ever see anybody else's eyes but mine, unless you guys, of course, say, hey, I would like this to be used in some media, in the movie or whatever, and then no problem, of course. Otherwise, we will never show this footage to anyone. It's just for research and understanding. And you can always email me that to lasersimulationx, simulationx@gmail.com. Simulationx@gmail.com is my email address. It's also the fastest way to get a hold of me. As you can hear my speech slurs. I can't wait for the day that I get to stop doing these so late at night. Rose, good to see you. Kurt is saying, hey Dan, you chose me for the laser the other day and I sent you an email, but I am in Australia. I think it's on the works. Let me double check, Kurt. Let me double check. Yeah, what we did, the loophole that we found is that we send it, we made a laser that has a USB connection, so you don't have to use a battery, which from what we checked, at least in the, what it seems on the surface is that the problem is that they don't allow the cells, in other words, the batteries with the laser. But with the USB, it seems to be okay. But let's find out. You emailed me, Kurt. Is this, do you remember what, first of all, what is the name on the email? And also, do you remember what was the title of the email that you sent, Kurt? I'll go back here. Daniel, how are you, my brother? Wow, so good to see you. Today we're talking about, we just started, and today is going to be a relatively short episode because it's so late for me. So we don't really have a topic. If you have one, feel free to suggest one. Royal is saying, I ordered a laser on Amazon, 650 nanometer red cross, but it seems much less powerful than your video. Will it work? Yes, so they always look more powerful on the video. If you film your own laser, you will see it looks really bright in the video. So that's normal. Yeah, it will definitely work. You don't want it too bright. Just make the room a little darker and you'll see it fine. You also don't want it actually too dark because then the contrast will prevent you from seeing it clearly. So somewhere in the middle between full darkness and a little bit of light. 3 a.m. too early or too late for borscht. There you go, fast food Guido with a borscht. Always appreciate that. It makes me think of beautiful things, like back in Moscow. Stone Esoteric is saying, hello, how are you? How are you, Stone? Good to see you. Yeah, I would appreciate that, guys. Okay, Daniel, really great to see you, brother. Always makes me happy. Kurt Ugg 22, let's see. Ah, I see something. Yeah, there you go. And then Skirt from YouTube chose me with a laser. Thank you. And this is the way you wrote the address is exactly, Kurt. Is that exactly how we should put it in order to get it to you? And also, if you don't mind, if you don't mind putting your full name, because that's important for the post office. Send me the full name and put the address in the exact format the way it's supposed to be, because we have a lot of people and it's very difficult to search and Google and look and all of that stuff for each individual. So if you don't mind putting it in the exact order the way it's supposed to appear in the country, and if there's any number it's supposed to go one before the other, just make sure that we basically just copy paste, if you don't mind, including your full name and everything. Appreciate that. Any tips for sourcing of the tools used in the experiment in cryptic notions? Unfortunately, I can't really help there. You do have pretty good channels. I always recommend on YouTube. And dude, I don't know what's wrong with me. I can never remember what it's actually called. Maybe Daniel can help me. Hold on. I think it's called, there you go. The channel is called, so the name of the molecule, V, so kind of like MTV, just with a D in the beginning. So MTV with a D before, and then it says dimethyltryptavision. So the actual name of the channel, sorry, that's the logo. But the actual name of the channel is imakethenameofthemolecule.com. I make the name of the molecule. I make the name of the molecule. I make the 3 letters. That's the name of the channel on YouTube. And I know he does a pretty superb job at explaining all this stuff. So that's the best I can do on that front. I mean, depends on what country you're in. If you're in Canada, you don't have any issues. Uh, you can just get it. I don't know if you, all the Canadians here, you guys are very lucky. I don't know if you know this. You can just order it literally online. Thanks, mate. It's humanity work. You're doing. Love from Denmark. Thank you so much. Love Denmark bands back. Okay. Hey, just came. Please, no, definitely no dates. We're definitely just working on it. We're actually still in some funding rounds, so we don't have any idea. It's a matter of how much funding we get. If we get plenty, then it's gonna be quick. If we get less, it's gonna be a little slower. That's all. Yeah, Eric's. Yeah, I already put it up there. I make name of the molecule. Annoyingly, you cut out when you were telling me what we're talking about today. But that maybe that's because why? Because we're not talking about anything yet in particular. Does the experiment give out the same symbols, hieroglyphs in a different location, or does it change depending on the location? Great question. So far, it seems to be the same across all locations, all individuals, all surfaces, all conditions, no matter what, which is actually the weird thing about it. It is weird how we can't talk about it. I agree with that, Daniel. That's crazy. Azamun is saying, hey, brother, just popping in to say much love to everyone. Much love back, brother. Is the choppy connection my end? No, it's my end. The connection here is pretty bad. My woman is asleep, and I've been told that I need at this hour I should do it in the office downstairs. So that's what I'm doing. Okay. Elia. Yeah, Elia. Yeah, no, it's not a matter of it's not like I'm not being resigned. I'm just really tired, and there's no really good way of saying it other than the way it is. If I would have any idea, then I would say, but we have a long way to go. We shot maybe 10% of it. We have a good first scene and act built in. You know, making a movie is a long process. I mean, the truth is that even after we're done with shooting with everything, it's a pretty long process. Aside from editing, you have the color process, you have the music process, you have the sounds process, you have the distribution process. There's a lot of things that need to happen for a movie, and we're doing the best we can. So, I wish I could tell you more, but at the moment we don't really know. But it will come out, that's for sure. We're gonna make sure that the movie is amazing and is gonna come out that way or another. No longer than a year, that's for sure. But hopefully a lot before then. Do you have any spiritual protection or anything similar? You do. People talk about low spirit entities. So that's a very broad question. The short answer that I can give you is that the only real protection you can have is the ability to just be truly present in the moment, because you can't really do much if different kinds of energies and entities are trying to enter your space, aside from very firmly being what you are. And then these entities have a lot less ability to do all kinds of things, attach themselves, or make you care. It's the fact that people care is what allows certain energies to whatever. That's true of people too, by the way. You can't really control people, you can control how you can react or respond in the presence of certain people. And the same happens for life events and everything else. So, really, the only protection, real protection, or superpower anybody can have is to be able to just truly focus on being what they are. That's the short answer. What made me do something like this? Well, it's a long story. Thank you for the question, F250, but that's what the documentary is going to be about. It's a story that spans over years. Sent you another email, include the full name. Thank you so much. There we go. Beautiful. Appreciate it. Okay. You copy this here. Should be on its way soon. The thing there, we're gonna ship it. So actually, this is gonna be a good experiment because I think it should work. But you let me know, Kurt, if you can just keep updating me, please. If there are any issues, because yeah, some countries are just really problematic. Is the molecule you use from the natural source or man-made? So the short answer that it makes no difference whatsoever. The chemical composition is exactly the same. In fact, if you ask my opinion, what is made in a lab is superior by a lot because you know exactly what it is. There's you can't really compete with that. I know it's a big component of what people believe sometimes. I'm not saying you are because you haven't said that, but usually when people ask this question, they tend to aim towards natural is better, which is absolutely not true. There's a lot of things that when they're made in a lab, they're a lot better. One of them is that. That's because you actually control for the conditions that actually create the molecule, and all that really matters is the actual shape. Now, I'm fully on board that there are certain energies, people's energies that are working with it are making a difference. But overall, just also from experiencing these things that are made in a professional lab, they tend to be a lot better. You know, in all the aspects. You don't get as many weird things in the body. You don't get a lot of weird surprises. So whatever the reason for that is, I can tell you that whatever is lab made, at least in this domain, is a lot better. That's also the reason why they use that in the clinical studies that you're using in Imperial College. But the bottom line is that the actual result, the way that it looks, the molecule itself, it's exactly the same molecule. There's no difference. So when you're distilling it from something else, the process is basically just trying to extract it from the rest of the stuff that it's with. And in that process, you will always have some remnants of certain things, which is the lack of control, basically. And that can cause all kinds of, departures from what the molecule is supposed to be. Here. Oh, I see. Yeah, so that would be my answer. Now, I'm not really sure you can know when you're ordering it from either a company or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they talk about it, maybe they don't. But with this particular thing, I wouldn't worry too much just because there's zero physical ramifications. So, like, there's really no danger whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, in the end of the day, you do want to at least understand what direction it's coming from. That's for sure. I'm currently trying to look into, some things that I know, like at least in countries in which it's legal. I'm trying to discern which ones are really the best so I can give people some recommendations. But at the moment, all I can say is really the only way you can know for sure, like for sure, is if you do it yourself. And that's where the channel that I mentioned before, if you want, I'll mention it again. It can be pretty handy. Hello from South Carolina. What's up, Jeremy? How are you? Have you tried broadcasting the laser on a fan and playing with the rotation speed? Yes. It doesn't do much. It doesn't seem to do much, but I know it was a fun idea. How can we replicate what you do? Is there a particular setup we need? Yes. Everything you need is on codeofreality.com, including the protocol and all the parts for the laser that you need. I'm always making it super clear that you don't feel obligated to get anything to the website. You can get it anywhere you would like. Just make sure that the specs are the same as what you see on the website. So just go to the page on the website that says the lasers, look at the list, copy go to the whatever pages you find, make sure that the specs that you see are exactly the same with what you're ordering. And then if you find it for cheaper somewhere, please get that, no problem. If you go on Alibaba, you can source it for pretty cheap. The only downside is that it takes a little longer to get to you, and usually you have to get in bulk. But yeah, definitely As long as it matches what you see on the site, you can get it anywhere you would like. And the protocol is also on the same website, codeofreplay.com. Greets from Kelowna, British Columbia. Chilean. I've been to Chile. How are you, Rodrigo? I liked it a lot. We're in Chile, by the way. And welcome from India. Varun Kochi, we're in India. India, I have yet to visit, and I'm very excited to visit. Then, is the laser potentially doing what light through a window does when it hits dust? No, definitely not. A lot of people in the beginning, or even now, try to explain it away by thinking or insisting that this is speckle effect. It is definitely not that. When people see it for the first time, they understand immediately it's not that. In video 101, you do not agree with the fact that the Egyptians could have known the code, but do you know that they knew the molecule lotus acacia? So yeah, there's a lot of rumors about all of these things. I don't remember what I said exactly in every episode. It's hard for me to comment on that because I don't remember the exact nature of the comments. I know I am on the record of being skeptical about, in general, people from the past knowing more than us. It doesn't mean that they couldn't know certain things, but as far as like dialing in technologies and all of that, I'm like, nah, I don't think so. Now, of course, I can be wrong, but that's my position, that's my conviction. And every time I hear an argument in that direction, it's very flimsy. So people make a lot of claims, but when you look at the details of these claims, at least when I looked at the details of these claims, I'm like, that's super not convincing, and I don't see any reason to think that. I think it's more likely that we tend to glorify the past because we have this big trend at the moment of kind of lowering what we are for some reason. And I think that's more that than anything else. But can I be wrong? 100%. Of course, I can be wrong. And I'll be the first one to admit if I see evidence for that. But so far, like what you said, I have no problem with it. But if every time I look at what people really claim, like the details, doesn't hold water, like every time. And could they know about certain medications? Sure, of course. I mean, people use these things for at least 10,000 years, maybe more. Maybe even, like Terence believes, it was probably responsible to a large degree for the development of our prefrontal cortex and our evolution as human beings. I'm all on board with these possibilities. But if then the attempt is to then, make the further claim, which, they were involved with some things that are like, levitating rocks or things like that, even though what I'm proposing sounds so out there and crazy, it's still based on something you can actually test, right? And when you look at the details of what people talk about the civilizations of the past, I don't know. I can't check it off. Like when I look at the details, it doesn't convince me. That's the most vanilla thing I can say about it. And I have no real resistance to it, aside from if it's not true, I don't think we should put too much stock in it. But if it is true, I mean that would be awesome and amazing. I actually think that would be an incredible true discovery about the past. It actually excites me, to be honest. And maybe this is why I'm so critical about these things, because my whole life I always wanted a lot of these things to be true. But every single time when I looked at the details of all these stories, it always somehow ends up being some kind of a dead end. And I think I get disappointed enough to say, you know what? Like, unless you have something super concrete, eh. It just kind of feels like a waste of time. And I'm trying to remember if I can maybe remember the part of the conversation you were referring to, because you said in 101 I said I do not agree with the fact that the Egyptians could have known the code. I mean, there's so much here, right? What code? Because I know that the code in the laser is just one of the codes. There's other codes that people see, and they're different codes. So which codes are we referring to? Did they know that this was a simulation? I highly don't think. I think it's highly unlikely, because in order to understand what a simulation is, you need to understand what computation is. In order to understand that, you have to understand what electricity is. And then people say, yeah, but they used lemons or something to make electricity. And maybe, but you know, eh. So yeah, that's kind of like where I sit with that. And by the way, even super smart people, I'm not saying that not like there's a lot of very smart people talking about this with a lot of conviction. So I'm just one voice, but again, it's how people use arguments. Like even Robert Grant, who's I think we can all agree is an exceptional individual, right? Very positive, super successful, very smart, and also again really force for good in all the possible ways. But then he starts, and I talked about this before, stuff in the pyramids, and in one breath he would make a comparison between something he measures in the same chamber, something he measures in feet, with something he measures in meters. What's the logic of that? Like it doesn't make any sense. And like unless you have a reason to do that, that somehow maps onto some deeper relationship, which he doesn't. So that kind of like when you start playing that game, something tells me that you like pulling at loose ends, kind of, you know. But again, you know, with all my like right now, I'm kind of talking about it as if like I know for sure or something. Of course, I don't know for sure. Like if new evidence will come, everything I just said will be nullified, and I'll be wrong, and that's fine. Why would it be code symbols? Why not something natural looking like a sphere, ball, line, etc.? Because it's not as if when we create holograms you can see our code, and a hologram you can't. That's a great question. Strange things happen. That's beats me. That's the short answer. It beats me. That's why I'm trying to figure out ways of probing and trying to understand why it can be. Best postulation, languages are discernible for conscious being, and when conscious beings achieve a certain level of universality, which we did, then they start recognizing language across the board. It doesn't matter where it is in the universe. And maybe that's why. I really like the part you asked about, because when we look through a hologram back, we don't really see the code. That's a great point. That's actually one of these things that I'm really focused on right now. I really don't know. I'm trying to understand what we can potentially be in this whole arrangement of the holographic setup. And we might not be the projection. Because, you know, the tendency is to think, well, maybe we are the projection. But then what is seeing the projection? How can the projection see itself? There's something more sophisticated here. And maybe we are the reference light. If you know some stuff about holography, maybe we are the reference light. The consciousness is like the reference light. Or it's a combination of the reference light and the projection. I don't know. That's a great question, truly. I don't know. But something to definitely test for. If this is the Matrix, are you Neo or Morpheus then? Or the Oracle? Wow, great question. I don't know. I think there's going to be like groups of us. I think these archetypes a lot of us would fall under kind of like some of these archetypes. So I guess the people who feel like they're waking up and they're helping wake others up, they would all be Neo, or they're under the archetypical Neo. All the people that are kind of like the wise people that give you the advice about the future, they'll be the oracles. And who would Morpheus be? That's interesting. Maybe Morpheus would be the one like actively waking up the ones that can wake up the rest. And so I don't think it's going to be one individual. I think it's going to be like a lot of different kinds of people. And I think we can see that actually happening. Who will I be in this thing? Dude, I don't know, honestly. I never thought about that. I don't know if I'm going to be Neo. Because I'm not. Because I was definitely not pulled by Morpheus. Maybe I'm Morpheus? I don't know. I have no idea. But that's a very entertaining question. Mr. Strange things happen saying, no, you misunderstood me. Not the speckle effect. I'm using that as an analogy, as in the light from the sun, when it hits the window in a certain way, in a certain angle, it lets... Well, yeah. So, kind of, yeah. You're talking about, would it be the points of light crossing through the sheet in a hologram, basically, from the other side, right? My best theory about it at the moment is that maybe stars are. So maybe stars are actually these points of light crossing through, and space-time is the sheet. and stars are actually the ones that are projecting us here. So like the light from the stars literally makes matter appear in the universe. These are great questions, guys. Thank you for today. Is like wonderful, wonderful questions. Do you know Nassim Haramein? Kirsten, good to see you. Do you know Nassim Haramein and his unified holographic field theory? I'm familiar. Yes. I'm from how do you how do you read this? Rancagua, next to Santiago. Oh yeah, so I've been to Santiago. We also drove. I forget the name of the place. It was like 2 or 3 hours no, north. Where would that be? I shot a documentary there a few years ago. Graham Hancock. What about Graham Hancock, Thomas? Will a builder's laser work? No, it would not work because it's too narrow and it's too concentrated. So you won't be able to see because it's too narrow and it's too concentrated. So there's too much light bouncing back from one spot. It will basically just like not allow you to see enough inwards. The best way is to get these super cheap lasers from Amazon or Alibaba, which we have the list on the website on codeofreality.com. Again, don't have to get it through the link through the website. You can just get it directly from Alibaba or Amazon. But the reason they're preferred is because their output is actually just right. 5 milliwatts, so it's not too strong, can't do any cornea damage, and also it allows enough of the signal to come back without drowning it. So yeah, the builder's one definitely doesn't work. Or if it does, it's going to be super hard, and also it's going to be very harsh on your eyes, which definitely not recommended. What's on the other side? Once again, incredible question. I do not know. All I can say is that I'm interacting with the beings that are seemingly simulating us. I don't know exactly what they're doing. Maybe they're managing the simulation. I'm not sure. But is it the other side or are they still on our side? I really don't know. Have you transcribed any of the code thus far? Do you have any more content beyond YouTube where we can look more deeply into this? Thank you for the question, Crusade. Again, transcribing it would be very difficult without some kind of an ability to record directly from your cortex, because there's just too many things happening all at once. So, but it is, by the way, that technology is right behind the corner, so it's not that far in the future. And more content. Not that I can, no, YouTube I think is the most extensive content. But at the moment, there's a lot of things in the works. So all at once, there's going to be all of a sudden a lot of new content. There's going to be the new video about the console. There's going to be more stuff about the movie. There's going to be some very interesting interviews that I'm going to bring you guys. So, but thank you for asking. I guess I'm building the next layer. So a lot of it will come at once. But it is super encouraging to know that people are really anticipating and waiting, and it makes me want to work harder and faster, so people can enjoy more of that. Here's Morpheus. By the way, I see a lot, Dita, I see you trying to come on today. I don't think I'm going to have any guests because I'm going to adjourn in a couple of minutes. But also in general, just so you guys know, if you want to come on, you usually have to leave a subject matter in the comments, and then so I know what we're talking about, and then I'll definitely bring you on. But today, no, today I think I'm too tired for a conversation. All right, I think you're ignoring what I'm saying. There's a font called Matrix Code on the internet, and we find the characters that are in the trailer. Do you have any explanation? I do. I think the creative people feel certain things that they don't even know might be real. Just like with Douglas Adams in the number 42, the answer to the universe. And they're just Japanese language there. It's basically a collection of sushi menus. I don't know if you knew this, but it's hilarious. They just use a bunch of old sushi menus. That's what they did, which is amazing. Do I still do Ninja Warrior? Funny. One of my old videos. That feels like a different lifetime. No, I don't do anymore. Actually, it might be fun to do it again, honestly, just to see how far I am with my physical abilities. But yeah, Ninja Warrior was fun. This was like what, 6, 7 years ago. Uh, it's funny that you found that. I've got the molecule Saturday in a jar nearly 8 months. Wait, I've got the molecule sat. I thought it was short for Saturday. In jar nearly 8 months now. I'm really nervous to try it, but really want to. Any advice? No, it's like there's nothing that there's no like nothing can happen to the molecule that can risk anything. If anything, it will just become less potent. That's the only thing. If it interacted with light a lot, so there's nothing to worry about. Well, there's all the stuff to consider in general with the molecule that you would either way, but no need to worry because it's set in a jar for a while. That's what I mean. Thank you for the likes, guys. I appreciate you. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oi. Okay, what is happening? Okay, so I'm gonna answer some questions on TikTok. Did everyone see the same code? Yes. They're not zeros and ones. They look more like Japanese mixed with some Hebrew and regular numbers. Let me go back in the comments and see what's up. Can you project the laser on water? Sorry, I'm new. First of all, never apologize for being new. Would answer with pleasure. You can. It will diffract it, which actually, it will refract it, which will actually help you see it even more. So after it's already diffracted with the lens, you can also project it through a glass of water, just like in some of my videos, and you will see the code on the other side with more coherence. So yes, the answer is yes. One question: have been tested the experiment with double blind? Not the official double blind, not yet. People who isn't all about the numbers still see the same thing. How do I think the pyramids were built? No clue. The funniest answer is what pyramids? Aliens from Mars built the pyramids. There you go. That's the answer. Must be. Is the code all number? Oh, okay, we answered that. Do you think that it's cool that the only color lasers that reveal the codes are green, red, and blue? No, I think all of them would. It's just the only ones I tested. But it would be cool if those are the only ones. Are the primary additive colors... Wait. Are the primary additive colors, and when combined, they produce transparent white light? Not lasers, no. Can't do it with lasers because it's literally coherent light, so it's already separated. You can't really recombine it unless... Actually, I don't know if you can put it through a special process in the middle, but not by just joining them together. Good morning, Teddy Bear. It's not that I don't believe you, but I'm asking Danny. Kirsten, about the pyramids, you mean? I truly have no idea. I don't know. Okay. I am the laser video guy, yes. Not Aramaic, it kind of looks a combination of Japanese and Hebrew. Aramaic looks a little different. But it's neither of those. It's none of these. It's kind of looks like the closest it looks like actually is kind of like that. You know the story about the carrot craft that they worked on, supposedly. So a lot of people think that this story is fake, and maybe it is. I don't know, but the characters look very similar to that. This is indeed a simulation. That's what I'm saying. I've got um, the discovery video is clipped on X and makes the rounds quite a bit. It might be useful to have more of a presence on that platform, so there seems to be a lot of conversation around your video. I appreciate that, Crusade, again. But the truth is that I have no idea. Like right now, as I'm streaming, I'm also streaming on X. Aside from that, I don't really know what to do to make the thing grow. People that usually post these things, they don't really post my handle on X. So if they would, then I guess my channel would grow. Uh, I guess maybe because it's an old account, and there I'm the opposite of what I'm on TikTok and on Instagram, which is Danny Goller. There I'm Goller Danny, so maybe that's why. I have no idea, but slowly it's growing, and maybe I'll do what is it called, the lives on X directly. I forget what they're called, rooms or something. So maybe I'll do some more of those, and maybe I'll post a few words. But I like when things are kind of feel organic and they feel authentic. I feel like I don't want to push. I don't want to go on X and like post a comment that I didn't mean to post because it was not something that like I have to think. Oh, okay, well, what do I want to say to grow my channel? You know, feels there's something fake about that. I feel like I only want to say things that has true meaning and I actually want to say them. But good idea. Maybe I can, some things that I have to say throughout the day, maybe I can think about how to phrase it in a short format. If you know what, X likes, and you want to educate me, I'm very open. I don't really know much about the platform. But thank you for the comment. What would 5 milligrams of the molecule do? Is that a good start? Well, yeah, I think you should be able to see the code with that, honestly. Even though in the beginning you might want to see a little bit, you need a little bit more to see it in the beginning. Have you tried using the fraction disk? Such as those and AliExpress. Yeah, but it doesn't make it any more quick. The best, truly, from everything we've tested, this is the best possible way to see it at the moment. Just the laser that you see on the website. Maybe the molecule is revealing the headset, or as you call it, the console. Maybe. Well, no, not the console. The console is just a thing in the room. But maybe the headset that Donald Hoffman is talking about. Have you tried using structured water to refract the laser? What do you mean by structured? Interesting. What's the website you can find the laser? What you see on the screen, codeofreality.com. But again, some people don't understand, and I will never be tired of repeating this because it's important. We only put on the, so we make some of them. We make like really compact ones because people asked us, and we also put a list there of all the stuff that you can get yourself on Amazon, or it is on Amazon from the website. But as long as the specs are the same, it doesn't matter where you get it. You can just get it from Alibaba or somewhere, or your local hardware store if it's cheaper for some reason. So yeah, but you can find at least a list of it on codeofreality.com. In the movie The Matrix, they say that there is no spoon. No, okay. Why did I read it like the voice of Stephen Hawking? I have no idea. In the movie The Matrix, they say there is no spoon. Do you know why there is no spoon? It's a great question. I think it just sounded profound. No, I think the point of that was that in the spoon, there was the reflection of the kid, right? So the point was that the reality is that there is no spoon. The whole world is a reflection of what you are. And if you can truly bend yourself, then the reflection will bend as well. Now, I think it's a lot more complicated than that, but it was a very cool line, you have to admit. And if so, how do you know you're just not hallucinating? That's a deep question, but I don't know if I have enough energy to answer that. It has to do with something called objectness, which is a set of attributes that only a real object has, and your brain is really good at detecting that. I read one article that the molecule made a person smarter. I highly doubt that, but that would be interesting to read. Hey, I really wonder if you and your friend look at the very same location and see the same symbols. Thank you for all. Yes, the answer is yes, Hakan. Roel is saying, have you tried using structured water to diffract the laser? Nassim Harmain has developed a quartz which is supposed to structure water. I have this quartz and then we'll try it. Yeah, please let me know. Johan Brand saying, I think you're thinking way too deep. I think there's no spoon because it's really a piece of metal and not really a spoon. No. They were definitely talking about the fact that it's only you, the perception that you have that exists, and the world is Maya. It's an illusion. That was definitely the reference. Then does the molecule and seems smart. Definitely not while I'm doing the molecule, because my speech slurs. It is too late. What's up, Brianna Calves? Okay. Have you tested with poppers? No. You don't believe in illusions? What does that mean? You've never seen visual illusions? Ever heard of stochastic turning patterns? Yes. Scientists claim this what hallucinations are. Well, the scientists should try a little bit of the molecule, and then I wanna hear them come back and say that. Yeah, I can very confidently say that is not what this is. All right. Well, I think I'm. Do I have the characters posted online anywhere? It's in the trailer, John. So if you go to Dango Thoughts on YouTube, DANGO Thoughts, the full trailer is there, and in the trailer in the beginning you see actually the paper with the characters as well. Hello from Czech Republic, the Czech Republic. I just arrived. A question: I would like to know if you have mapped the symbols that can be seen during the experiment. Very difficult to do because there's too many characters to count and they're moving very fast. I think you should consider a podcast, man, if you have the time for it. This type of topic is popular on such platforms. It's very interesting to hear you speak on this. I appreciate you, the prospector. I've been a guest on a lot of different podcasts. The latest one was a couple of days ago on a podcast called Night Shift. They're usually talking about UFOs, but they folded this topic because they felt it was interesting enough, and it was fun. Just look it up, Night Shift. And my conversation with them is one of the lives. So if you go to the lives, I think it's the last one. You'll recognize it right away because it's mentioning the Matrix, basically. But I really appreciate the kind words. All right, guys. I'm falling asleep in front of your eyes. I need to get some rest. If you guys don't mind, give the live a little bit of love and show it some likes across all platforms, TikTok and YouTube and X and Twitch. It definitely helps the algorithm. And I'll be here tomorrow with hopefully renewed energy. And I really appreciate everybody who are showing up every single day. I've also added a membership program on YouTube now that is slowly getting traction, and I'm working on quite a few things to add there so people get their money's worth. Aside from, of course, personal interactions with me on Zoom and personal lives aside of the daily lives, but also there's going to be a few fun surprises very soon. So I think that's all the housekeeping we need to do. Let's see, Alisa has a question. Characters limits are messing up my simulation experience. Fascinating work. Thank you, Alisa. I appreciate that. I will will say good night to everybody. Thank you so much, guys. Deeply appreciate you. Peace and love. Till tomorrow. Ciao.